Hi friends! Welcome back to Where in the World is Leah Jane, traveling to places real and imaginary since '92. And today we're traveling to you from a cave where there's a magical paper tiger and a vampire and also some weird desert shapeshifter, and there's just like a whole lot going on today. Hello, how are you? Am I in my pajamas today? Yes. Am I wearing makeup? Also yes. I like to think that they balance each other out in terms of camera readiness. Because listen, we are busy people. Life gets hectic. And sometimes when we're busy, finishing a novel can be really hard. And not finishing things can just shove us right off a cliff down into the deep, dark ravine of the reading slump. And to that I say, have you tried a short story? It's my trench coat because Anyway, I have some short story recommendations. The best news is all of the short stories I'm recommending today, you can read for free on the internet right now. I got you. Okay. So it's October, which means we're kind of in the mood for something a little suspenseful and dark. We want mystery, we want spooky, we want something that haunts us a little and makes us shiver. The truth is a cave in the Black Mountains. There's one way there and only one way, and that way is treacherous and hard. And if you choose the wrong path, you will die alone. The Truth is a Cave in the Black Mountains is a short story by Neil Gaiman that follows the story of two men, one man seeking something from a magical cave in the Black Mountains and another man who has been there before and who agrees reluctantly to be the guide. It is a very dark Gaiman piece, and it was actually written and designed to be sort of multimedia, which is why I actually listened to it the first time through the BBC instead of reading it. And let me tell you, if you want that extra spooky element, you should definitely check out the recording. Unfortunately, the recording isn't free anymore, but the written version still is, and having read it after listening to it, I will say that it's still good. It'll still make you shiver, but it won't be quite as immersive. So if you really want to commit to the spooky, then you can buy the audio version. But like I said, you can read it with the lights off and a little flashlight, and it'll still freak you out just a little bit. Now, if on the other hand, you're like, Leah, this is fall, okay? I like hot cider and pumpkin patches and warm, cozy blankets. I want to be cuddly and cozy when I read. I've got something for you too. It is another Neil Gaiman story, this one fittingly called The October Tale, about a genie who encounters a woman with no wishes. This story is so heartwarming and delightful. I can feel my heart just getting a little bit warmer and tingly just thinking about it. So if you're looking for something that has those like cozy, happy, fluffy vibes, then you should pick up this one. Leah, you might say, this is basic stuff. We've all read Gaiman. Where is the grit? Where is the depressing reality? Well, okay. For you, I have Welcome to Your Authentic Indian Experience Trademark by Rebecca Roanhorse, which is a story about a Native American man who works as a virtual spiritual guide for tourists seeking to have this kind of fake experience as a Native American. It is science fiction, and like a lot of science fiction, is very adept at holding up a mirror to some of the realities that we prefer to ignore. Those of you who have read Trail of Lightning will know a little bit about Roanhorse's style, which from what I've seen always incorporates some grit. It's straightforward, no nonsense. And this one really takes that and just cranks it up several notches. Now let's say that you don't want any sci-fi, you're all about that fantasy, but you want something that's still a little dark and has an element of the supernatural and is also kind of a Western. I mean, that's like highly specific, so I don't psych. You know I have something for you. What is this, amateur hour? To you I present You'll Surely Drown Here If You Stay by Alyssa Wong. A rich, atmospheric story that kind of has this pervasive loneliness through it. It's told in the second person, where you are a young person named Ellis, who has an affinity for the desert and also for the dead. And as it turns out, you may be more than human, and those special qualities are attracting some shady characters to your middle of nowhere town. It was so unique and really transported me to this place where I could just feel the dirt on my skin and the sun beating on my face. Now, for some of y'all, that story might just be a little too strange, a little too abstract at points, and you just really want something that you can connect deeply to. You want to be all up in your feels. You want to cry. Of course I have something for you, and that is the Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. The Paper Menagerie not only just made me sob, like I cried a couple of times while reading this, it also made me think more about what it's like to be a second-generation immigrant. What does it mean to grow up in a diaspora, and how do you relate to your parents and their culture? Liu is extremely adept at getting you invested in these characters and making you feel deeply for them. And on top of that, he creates the most magical sense of wonder. And there are these little moments of magic infused throughout the story that really enhance it. At its core, this story is a heart-wrenching tale about a man's relationship with his mother and how that changes as he grows. And I will just say that if I read it again, I would probably cry again. So prepare a box of tissues, you're going to need it. Finally, I am betting that there are some of you out there who are like, none of this really sounds like my tastes, but like, I don't really know what I want. Can you just recommend something that you loved? Of course, and I'm gonna break my rules a little bit here, but you know what? I made up these rules so I can totally break them and recommend a Tumblr user named Ofgeography. I adore her. I briefly mentioned her in a previous video. She is an incredibly versatile writer. One week she'll write a story in this casual internet language, and then another week she'll write something that makes you be like, is this literature? This feels like literature. A lot of her more informal stories are just tales of her life, just some of the little absurd, hilarious moments. And I love how she's taken how we use punctuation as a form of tone setting and really just amped it up in these stories. I always chuckle reading them. They're so delightful, and she's incredibly personable. If you're looking for something to start there, although I guarantee once you start, you will binge through the entire thing, I'd recommend her most famous one, which a lot of people refer to as Porn Prison. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else. But be prepared to laugh. If on the other hand you want something with very clean prose and a kind of fairy tale, folktale feel, then I would start either with her story Ugly Mary, which is about a woman who is not conventionally beautiful and how she uses that to get ahead, and another one that is a retelling of Snow White, but Snow White isn't your sweet, lovable, kind-hearted character that we all know. She's very different and very dark, and she has a special connection with the evil queen. I really loved how she took these fairy tale ideas and just twisted them a little bit. I find sometimes the best ideas are ones that take something we know and change them just a little. It's that classic, give me the same thing but different, and she delivers here. And I freaking love her. Like, I'm so jealous of her writing style. I have read everything that she puts out, and I'm so jealous. Like, I'm so envious of her writing. I want everyone to love her as much as I do. All right, those are all the story recommendations that I have for now. I have linked them all below, so if you have a few minutes to go check them out and read them, and then just come right back and tell me what you thought of it. Do you think I described them accurately? Do you like them, not like them? Let's have a discussion, let's talk. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that. I hope you all have a lovely day, and until next time, keep traveling. Bye!